guys, I got some really big news for you today. But first, I need you to smash that like button. Come on, do it! What are you waiting for? Why aren't you smashing? Let's even get 20 million likes on this video. Well, clearly somebody doesn't care about our audience retention.
Not that much.
But whatever, because we watched a movie today.
Internet famous.
Internet famous.
Which we are not. Yet.
Hopeful. I like it. All right.
You have to have some optimism and whatnot. That just everything else is just crippling existential dread.
Why am I doing this with my life? All right. So yeah, internet famous. This is a movie that I don't know if it ever was on YouTube, but
it's an enigma.
It is directed by this director guy. You may have seen him. His ads for The Thinning, YouTube Red original. There was a horror movie a while back called Smiley. That was by him. He did this as well, starring a bunch of actually high-profile guys. The biggest, I think, name of which was Shane Dawson.
Yeah.
The vlogger guy. Tay Zonday.
Yeah.
Chocolate Rain also made a cameo, but not a high-profile, you know, like, I'm in the movie forever.
Well, it's a probiotic parody.
It's great. So I guess I'll go into the plot real quick before we give our really real reactions to it.
Yeah.
Because they might shock you. There is a, I would say almost Ellen-esque sort of host who's just so hip and with it with the young kids.
I never remember the actor's name, but at the same time, though, he's been through a lot of big movie stuff.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
Well, let me do.
He was in like The Day After Tomorrow. He was in Sci-Fi's show The Lost Room. He's a really interesting character actor.
So anyway, he decides I'm going to take these web stars and they're going to compete, and the winner gets their own television show because adapting web to TV always works. It has never failed.
Epic Meal Empire.
Yeah, if that's your go-to, then you have been shielded.
It is because the Cooking Network is the best.
So there are 5 contestants. There is one, I guess the best way I could say is a reply girl-esque sort of thing. She does reactions and her own comedy to videos that other people post. But the whole reason anyone watches her is because she's a huge pair of tits. But she's unaware of this. She thinks that she's just genuinely funny.
So in 8th grade, I just got really funny all of a sudden.
I had my comedic timing at summer camp.
Squish.
She has a team of 3 teenage Hispanic boys who are her writers, but also are just trying to be like...
They're just trying to catch a glimpse.
We hug her as much as humanly possible.
Yeah.
So there's that. That is number 1. Number 2 is That's One Scared Baby, where it's a dad who pranks his kid and like scares her out of control and just like, oh, I scared my kid. He's a prank channel, more or less.
Yeah.
And he just goes way over the top with it a lot.
Yeah.
He's a nerdy dad and he has troubles with his wife, which we'll get to, maybe. Third one is one called The Wobble Walk.
The Wobble Walk.
It is the Schmo-Yo-Ho, like the auto-tune, these small videos that no one would have seen otherwise and blow them up into huge things. And she hates the fact that she's become a meme. And
which, to be fair, for people who a lot of people who become memes,
that's actually a real problem.
Yeah.
I'm sure that people will go.
There's a documentary about it. Actually,
what Star Wars Kid was like the first one, pretty much.
I think so. Yeah.
So there's that, and she has a whole character arc. She's one of the most developed characters, but she hates the fact that she became a meme. There is the
really rich.
Well, no, I want to go to him last. There is a director who films his cat. And it gets so many...
It's like really good shots, but it's just
and
like...
he sets it to like metal music and all that stuff, but he believes that he's the artiste, he's the one they should be coming for, but everyone wants the cat, Mr. Blank.
Because they've never seen him on camera.
They don't care about him. He may be the guy behind it, but no one cares about him, they care about the personality. Which then leads to the personality, what was his name? Tomas, played by Shane Dawson.
And Hank.
Oh my god, these guys are he's officially known as the Parody Boss, where he releases parody music videos once a month. But he adapted the vlogger lifestyle. He's doing daily vlogs showing off his life in Lambos and mansions and...
These are the types of people that I steer away from, like the plague on YouTube.
Jesus.
This is one of the reasons why I never got into Vine.
Yeah, and that's one of
they actually reference Vine in this.
They mentioned Vine, they mentioned Instagram. There was a tiny little appearance from this girl, 14-year-old, who's like being constantly followed around.
A million views.
And it's like, yeah, I got like 1 million views. It's like, wow, how old are you? 14?
What do you do? I take pictures of myself.
I take a picture of myself on Instagram. Wow, you really don't like pants. Thanks. That's an actual quote. I love it.
That was funny as fuck.
It's just saying how much perverted they are. And there's like a tiny little cutaway to the people who do like /fic, like pairings and all that, the mashup. Anyway, that's all this stuff. But the main plot is the fact that they all are competing for it. They all have their own little stuff. Wobble Girl's trying to, get away from that image, become a serious actress. The vlogger guy has to get to the event not in his Lambo. He has to deal with common people. The director has to deal with nobody knowing who he is.
Yeah. He tries to talk about like Kubrick and Fellini and all sorts of shit at his panel.
And when it comes down to the very...
Where's the cat?
When it comes down to the very end, they're all at the thing and they're told they have to do a live performance. No one told them this before. So they're like, well shit, what do we do? And they all have to come up with something on the stop. The girl who has the writers, she's not very funny on her own, so the writers are trying to cover for her even during a live performance. Kind of works.
Only at one point.
Tomas... he doesn't want to do any of his old parodies because everyone's already seen that stuff. He wants to do something new. So he does an original song, which nobody likes.
Do Heathers!
God damn it. The baby and the dad finds out that his wife is cheating on him. And
just like sucks him into a vortex.
It just takes him and he's like, you know what, I don't want this life for my kid. And he's like, we quit, we're out, bye. The director, he doesn't even take his cat there because he didn't believe that the cat would be, wanted because he's, of course, the talent. And so they didn't actually let him into the event. So he stole a cat.
Well, he bought a cat. For like $500 off somebody else.
People called him that wasn't the same cat. And he was disqualified and put in jail.
Yeah, because he was like assaulting people.
Yeah. And then
I made Miss. What was it called? Like,
I made you, Mr. Blankets.
Mr. Blankets, yes.
And then the Wobble Girl, who hated the fact that she was a meme so much, she saw this video that was like, hey, this Wobble thing, it really did a lot. It means a lot to me. It's more than just a song. It's not more than just a song, but it's more than just a song.
It means more.
Yeah. And she's like, you know what? I should embrace this. It means a lot to a lot of people. So she embraced the wobbleness.
Except the way that she did it at the end was really funny. She's like, I will do a monologue as Abigail from The Crucible. Nah, I'm just kidding. They hit it.
So yeah, and she ends up getting the show. And then the show's cut to a couple months later, and nothing's really changed for anyone.
Except her.
Yeah, she got the TV show, but her whole thing, the TV show is wobbling with web stars.
Yeah, so
she had to dive headlong into that thing she hated.
Yeah, and then she just kind of had to just kind of embrace it after a while. Which I mean, I guess we're just kind of moving past plot. Just and the one thing that I want to say off the bat is that I actually enjoyed this.
Yeah, the whole reason I picked out this movie was because
Rotten Tomatoes had a horrible score for it.
It had no critics rating.
And like a 30% audience score.
Like, it seemed like nobody liked this. And also the fact that you just hear that. Internet famous.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my god, this is going to be a cringe fest beyond belief. It's going to be people who don't get this trying to poke fun at it and stuff like that. But instead, the people from the culture
are the ones who make it.
And they're mocking it. It's not like they're sucking their own dick. They're mocking...
It's making fun of very much of every single aspect of YouTube's culture, especially the vloggers.
The only thing you really don't get is like the gaming atmosphere.
Yeah, but of course at the same time though, it would have been really hard to pull off the gaming aspect in this particular setup of a movie.
Yeah.
I definitely can imagine that it could work at some point, but given the context, like adding one more character wouldn't have helped.
No. If anything, I feel like, because they had, let's see, they had prank videos, they had vlogging, slash like parody videos.
They had
the
music videos, technically.
Which one would you say?
It was Mr. Blankets, because he thought he was making something legitimately.
Yeah, he said it all to like death metal and stuff like that. I would just take that as the over artsy sort of guy, the guy who thinks like.
Well, he said that he's like, I have, I didn't know any actors, I didn't have any friends, so all I had was my cat, Mr. Blankets, and whatnot. So like, that's the only reason. I'm like,
if the only one I would say that I don't think, maybe I just avoid him, but I don't think has that big of a representation is the sort of like reaction and cracking jokes or whatever.
Yeah.
That was a thing, but I feel like it's gone downhill. That was the what was it, 3 show Waylon Johnson had, stuff like that. That used to be a big thing, but it's kind of gone away now. I feel like a bigger thing that could have picked up with that would have been gaming or something. That would have been the better thing to fill the gap. But again, that's a different topic.
Yeah.
So acting wise,
honestly, in the very beginning of the movie, I was cringy, and I'm just like, I'm not know how I feel about some of these guys. As the movie went along, I kind of embraced what the film was, and as a result, the acting, especially in the end, the ending montage of when like, we're catching up like 6 months later, how these guys are doing and stuff like that. Like, it is funny. Like, the parts that I can't stand the most, and I guess this is just my own personal like reaction to that lifestyle, was the rich kid like parody kid guy.
The vlog guy.
Yeah, because like his attitude and his character and everything about him just like it was cringy. And it was cringy not because like, this is really awkward. It's cringy because I fucking hate people like that. And maybe it's because of the type of socioeconomic group that I've come out of and I currently am in, but I can't stand people like that. And the problem is, though, I can't stand people like that to a point that I don't even like when I look at parodies of these types of people, because I'm like, you don't need to let me know how fucked up these people are.
I mean, even that intro joke that we made.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's pretty much that shit.
Yeah.
It gets to a point where it's just like...
It's what is it, Poe's Law? Where it's, any sufficiently advanced troll, you won't know if they're actually genuine or not.
True.
That sort of thing where it's just like, it gets to a point where they're so ridiculous in the way of how they're acting. It's like, are you making fun of the genre, or are you the peak of the genre?
So I don't get what you're trying to go for here.
But to be fair, I kind of like that character, not because of what he represented, because, he was kind of dickish. But I liked it because the other aspect of it was that he had this friend who was following him around.
Yeah.
And they were so obviously gay lovers, but they were like... completely. There was one point I was like, "Oh no, we accidentally booked you one room. We can fix that." No. I mean, we can make.
We'll slum it.
Yeah, that's what.
We'll slum it.
And the other thing was that his dad was fucking great.
His dad was fantastic.
They cut to him and he's just like, "I went to Brown University. I worked 60 hours a week to pull in $34,000 a year. $84,000 a year, and my son, he dropped out of community college after a semester, and he's pulling in 6 figures. So, I guess you could say that I'm proud."
And then, like, when he's singing on television later in the show...
He's singing his original
He's just,
song.
like, chugging whiskey. Like, it's just... And
I love him.
It's great. It was great. And I honestly... Like, that's one thing I never really thought about some of these internet personalities that are, like, fucking fanatic as shit.
Yeah.
Are their parents.
Yeah.
Because obviously everybody's got parents. Now, it's not like, like the people who share their life stories online and stuff like that. Like, this is obviously not that. This is somebody who is entirely built on superficiality.
Yeah.
And...
Here in my garage.
Yeah, the internet... I know exactly what that's like. Wow, man, we are just diving into our own culture here. I guess this is almost in a way... I mean, this kind of goes right into the script a little bit. It's the fact that I very much see this movie as a commentary on internet culture. There's without a doubt, this is a movie that comments on it because of the way that it approaches these types of people and how they go about, how they view themselves versus how the rest of the world views them.
That's why I think that, like, kind of in between acting and script, the one that I found the most interesting, I think we both found the most interesting, was the Wobble Girl.
Yeah,
because
that is a real thing.
Yeah, I mean, all these other ones, they're all real things. You got the prank channels or whatever.
True.
But they were played up in other stereotypes, like the rich kids.
This was played serious, though. This was played straight.
This was an actress who cannot escape this one thing that she didn't even have a part of. Like, it wasn't she posted the meme. It was some other dude found her tiny little 50 view video and boosted it up through music and editing.
Because it was a remix.
Yeah,
and stuff
so
like that.
someone else pushed her without her knowledge.
She meets later in the movie.
Yeah, that's the whole thing of she meets the guy who put together the video without knowing it's him.
Yeah.
And almost have a fling until she figures out that it's him, and she's like,
"You ruined my life.
Get the fuck out."
Yeah, it's just, and like she's really somebody who like goes through like a crisis of conscience.
I mean, there's one whole thing. She got booked to be a mascot on a commercial, a yogurt commercial, and she goes in and she's like, "Oh, okay. Well, I mean, that's awesome. That's great. It's a starting point. I can do this." And they go in. And she's like, "Okay, so start with the dance and then do the song." It's like, what song and dance? Like the wobble stuff.
That wasn't me. Like, it's like,
and you can just see her break.
And then the director was like,
"Get Tay Sunday back.
Get the Chocolate Rain guy."
And then at the end credits. The end credit scene, they actually have the commercial that he shot for it. Chocolate, go Max. I love it.
It's like, chocolate, go Max. But, I mean, and that's the thing though, like, the whole of the production, one, there was a shit ton of people who worked on this.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
they had two cats mentioned, the Mr. Blankets and Mr. Duvet, which was the standing cat. There was 5 cats played that.
5!
Wow.
There weren't that many Lassies in one movie. Like, dang, dude. But overall, like, the script itself, again, like, I think the weakest part of the movie for me was the opening. It was the first part. Because that's when I was like, I am not at all certain.
It had to overcome its own reputation.
It did, absolutely. Yeah. And also considering the fact that we noticed that it was from Maker Studios, you know, something like that. It's like, so I'm like, oh god, this is YouTube.
This is actually YouTube.
Like, YouTube on Netflix. So I'm like, oh, this better not be like Fred the Movie and shit like that.
To be fair, that's Nickelodeon, but yeah.
True, but still, it was a YouTube person who went and did a movie, and I'm so glad that they didn't go that route. This kind of, honestly, this reminds me a bit of the movie American Dreams with a Z, where it was kind of like this American Idol type thing, where it was parroting that in a way. It's almost kind of like what Miss Congeniality did for beauty pageants.
See, I've never seen American Dreams, so I don't know.
Of course, a lot of people kind of go on that movie. I think it's funny.
What it reminded me of, at least in the entire like third act, was the movie God Bless America.
Okay.
Where in that movie the guy he sees like he sees all this internet culture and just be like, no, this is so superficial. This is so nothing. And he goes and makes like a big stance against it. And he's like, hey, we need to be, you know, not doing this fucking inane bullshit. In this movie, they're like, yeah, this is all superficial. This is absolutely... They say that in the opening.
This is the here,
like,
the now.
This is the here, the now. There's nothing behind this. It's just now. They literally say that.
Am I doing things that I'm going to regret? Probably. Yeah. Have I done things that I do? Probably.
Have I lied under oath? I don't even know why we're talking about that.
I don't know. You know, why are we talking about that? It's like, just...
But yeah, so they bring that up directly, and then they just embrace it. They're just like, yeah, this is all completely fucking pointless. All these people are so superficial. And they just play that. They completely play that. How the one girl was strictly for looks. How the one guy was literally lost his marriage all around this
damn internet shit.
Internet thing.
And when I was like, it's a black hole of suck. You know, like, this actually, it kind of is a little funny because this also reminds me of, I'm forgetting it. Damn, there's another movie that this really reminded me of. You keep going. I'm going to try to remember it.
So, yeah, I mean, the weakest part for me, he says the opening. I don't think the opening was the weakest part for me. My weakest part was when they did the show at the end. They had to go up and do their performances and stuff. They didn't... I mean, two people were disqualified and or forfeited. One person did... Just it was the wobbly walk one.
Yeah.
She just did it. Like, she barely had to do anything. Like, they had the music queued up for her without them even have to say anything. And the other two people...
Like, twice.
They put on performances. One performed an original song. The other tried doing their comedic bit. And then it wasn't super well received by either one. So, it's a little bit But,
it's just kind of like nostalgia won over the day.
Yeah. It was kind of just like, you know what it really boils down to? Like, yeah, your original content's great. Your comedy bit, super. Memes will rule the world. You cannot beat a meme.
Honestly,
that's probably the wrong message to take, but I'm getting it.
As terrible as it is, yeah, like at the same time, the ones that survive are the ones that became, in some shape or form, a cultural cornerstone for something. Like, that's why there's this resurgence of fucking Pepe memes and stuff like that recently.
Ooh, be careful.
Oh, I know. I'm looking directly at the camera. And whatnot. I know what the fuck I'm saying on this one. But it's along the same lines as the fact that regardless of what is necessarily being appropriated for, if a meme is going to remain a meme, there is shit that are considered memes far earlier than the internet that still have play today. So memes are a thing that is not internet central.
I work at a warehouse, and in the warehouse we drive trucks around and stuff like that, and every fucking once in a while you'll hear while they're on the truck the horns will go beep 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 beep. That tune, that little beep thing, shaving a haircut 2 bits. That is almost as early of a meme as you can get.
True.
Nobody may even know where it came from, but everybody knows it. That's what a meme is.
Yes.
But this is not meme theory. So...
no, this is not.
So getting down...
I would be terrible.
We'll start wrapping this up. Technical stuff. They didn't really use that many special effects, really. Like, all it really boiled down to was the lighting and the camera shots. Nothing was really, oh, we're going to CGI Godzilla in the background.
It's obvious that this movie was done on a very strict budget, and they saved the majority of it for the entire contest at the end, because that has all the sweeping camera moves and a lot of fucking extras.
It looked like they may have stolen footage from, the Kids' Choice Awards or something.
Because there was a huge auditorium full of people.
Yeah.
And they probably had at least 3 cameras going at any given time. Yeah. I mean, that would make sense. There was a funny point, though, where, the Wobble Walk girl and the guy, when they were about ready to fuck in the room, they all of a sudden turn around and then they saw the camera guy.
He's like, what were you doing in here?
He's just kind of hiding in the dark and shit like that. So I'm like, that was funny. The fact that they kind of continued to build this as a kind of reality TV show.
Yeah, it's sort of interesting
thing.
Because you'll see takes like that where it's like, okay, the camera guy is in the room with them, but then later on at the contest, or even there was a bar scene earlier where the guy's pranking his kid. Those scenes, they have camera angles that you could not, literally,
it kind of goes in and out.
Could not be there. So
they didn't stick to it the whole time.
Yeah, it's almost like, I don't know. There was a movie that did that we reviewed. I think it was Demon Inside or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Where it was it kind of half stuck to it, but then they're just but we really want to get this shot.
Yeah.
So, it's that sort of thing. But yeah, technicals, I would say everything sounded fine, everything looked fine.
I mean,
you even commented on a few good shots.
There were a few good shots in there, and there were some good tracks and dollies, and I was really impressed. Because I was not expecting what we got out of this movie. I'm like, this is not one of the movies where it's kind of like Big Money Rustlers or what was it? Avengers Grimm and stuff like that, where the movie is very obviously bad, but it's enjoyable because of that.
Yeah. So good, so bad, it's good.
Yeah, not even that necessarily. It was not nearly as bad as what it had been played up to be at that point.
Yeah.
But this movie is something that I genuinely enjoyed. I genuinely thought, I wouldn't necessarily go as far to say that this was a good movie, but at the same time though, it was thoroughly entertaining.
Yeah.
I laughed a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about a little chuckle laugh. I'm talking full on belly laughter. Yeah. And that
same here.
Yeah, so it really definitely did work, and I think that overall, I think this is probably the one movie on this series that I'm probably going to give the strongest endorsement that you guys won't lose anything at all if you want to go ahead and watch this.
See, that's full disclosure.
Yeah.
Netflix has changed up their system. We used to do it where we clicked on the subcategory we wanted to go to, we clicked highest rated, and we scrolled down to the bottom. That's how we found content for the show. They don't have that anymore. They barely even have ratings anymore.
They do the thumbs up, thumbs down bullshit, which doesn't help us.
We have to go through, look at every single title that sounds like it would be bad.
And surmise.
And think that it'll be bad.
I equated it to David of going to Blockbuster and making that decision again. It's just well, this looks like something I'll like or something like that.
So in the future, you may get us saying a lot more, wow, this might actually be good, right up until they realize that the rating system sucks.
Only because Netflix changed their fucking algorithms.
But, and that's viewer suggestions as well, at any point, just saying.
We put it in the credits for the last 2 seasons.
So anyway, yeah, that's when it comes down to my opinion, I did enjoy this. I didn't think I would starting off. I mean, heck, when I clicked on it, I started laughing maniacally just because I thought, like, yes, this will hurt. This will hurt us now.
I think that's exactly what you said.
Yeah. So I'm honestly surprised that it works so well. I'm curious as to why it had such a low audience rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
I don't know. I mean,
because it certainly wasn't, you know, it wasn't groundbreaking, whatever.
No, but I can't imagine something like this being done any different.
No, maybe it's more of a thing of that we.
I mean, the part has been done before a billion times.
We are a part of this YouTube culture in a way.
Yes.
Even you guys watching this are a part of the YouTube culture.
Absolutely.
But
if you're subscribed, you're also a part of it. Be part of the culture.
If you're not and you just glance through it, maybe that's what it is. If you don't know the sort of things that they're making fun of,
yeah,
then that's where it falls flat.
Well, it's just like, you know, there's a handful of movies that I've done recently for various websites, and there's one movie that I did a couple months ago called The Pickle Recipe for IonCinema.com, and you would only really find that movie funny if you knew about Jew jokes, because the entire movie, because the entire movie is Jewish comedy.
Oh, okay.
Like so the thing is though, like you wouldn't understand half of the humor if you weren't acquainted with the Jewish people or the faith for that matter too. It's like because half of the jokes are about kosher food. Like,
all right. So yeah, I mean that basically sums it up for me.
That does indeed.
Right, so yeah, that will always be, unlike us, internet
famous.
You know what this movie could have used? More gore.
Who the fuck is the Brit?
Well.
And bear in mind's Nasty Finds. We tend to cover the more sort of extreme, disturbing, rare sort of cinema that you just don't get on most YouTube channels.
Okay, that's great. Why the fuck is he here?
I figured that we needed a British accent.
The British accent's sexier sounding.
You're not wrong, but I wish you would have run that by me first.
Why?
Hey everyone.
I brought my own.
We're Melfuzz TV. We do a bunch of discussion and review shows on YouTube, including our DC Comics podcast, Comics from the Multiverse. We also do movie reviews and TV reviews and all that kind of stuff. I'm Peter, by the way.
I'm Connor.
Okay, what the fuck are they doing here?
Well,
David is a big supporter of our shows through Patreon.
You pay them?
No! I'm a fan, and I donated to the people I like, and I requested that they make an appearance.
So you bribed them?
Actually, it's a bit more like blackmail.
Go home, Peter!
Yes, sir. Is it too late for me to jump in with a rebuttal?
Get him the fuck away from me!
And you are?
Yes, sir. I am the film attorney. You can find my show at Film Attorney at YouTube. Name of the channel, Film Attorney. And about this film where the man turns another man into a walrus. Is that not it? That not the one we're talking about? Oh, crap. Yoga hosers. We're talking about yoga hosers. Alright, now in yoga hosers, it ain't yoga hosers either, is it? Oh, God. Dang it. Would it kill you guys to get me a little bit prepared before we start doing these things? Internet famous, that's it. Okay, yeah, the Shane Dawson flick. Alright, Internet famous. Now, while the overall execution of the film was not exactly great, it was, you know, as standard as any film can be, you gotta admit, a movie about a killer smiley face is pretty original.
Shut up, goddammit! Alright, new rule. Any person we have on the show, we agree to long in advance.
Alright, good. Yes. Good.
How the fuck can you even get into the video?
I don't know. It's weird.
You edit the videos!
Yeah, that's why it's so weird.
You put them in, didn't you?
No!
You put them in. He put them in.